This
I hope everybody can hear me clearly.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So, guys, welcome to the Six Sigma Awareness Part 2 session. And so, we are going to talk about various things which we discussed in the last class. And then we will move on from the next, from where we have left. So, in the last session, there was an exercise which we were supposed to do. This exercise was making a project charter on the two scenarios that I have shared with you. So I have received it only from two of the guys. I think one is Vineet and second is Pawan. Pawan I can't see joining, but I can see Vineet has joined. Uh, Apart from these guys, anybody else who has prepared the project charter?
not really, but I would be submitting it by tomorrow.
Okay. Apart from Vinod, anybody else? Okay, so what we're going to do is that we are going to start with the project charter exercise. So we need, I think you have prepared one, and so what we're going to do is Vineet is going to take us through to the project charter he has prepared, and we all are going to review it. And then once he talk about the project charter, and then at the end, we will give him a feedback. So this is how we all will learn how to make an effective project charter, which would help us to get approval from the stakeholders to commence any particular project. So we need. Are you ready with your project charter? Vineet, I can't hear you. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
I can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry.
So Vineet, you ready with your project charter?
Yes, I have the PowerPoint presentation open with me, the project charter. Should I
Okay.
share the screen?
Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm making you the presenter, so you can
All
share
right,
your screen with
sure.
all of us, and then you can start with it.
Sure. Okay, now I've shared the screen. Is the screen visible to everyone?
Yes, the screen is visible. Can you just put it
Sure.
on full screen?
Yeah,
So, Vineet, before you talk about it, so you'll get around 5 to 7 minutes to talk about your project charter. Just assume that we all are your stakeholders. We are talking it for the first time regarding this particular project. You need to give us a background of this entire conversation, and we won't interrupt you in between. Once you are done, then we will all give you a collective feedback. Okay, so you
sh-
can start with your presentation now.
sure, sure. Thanks. Thank you. So the first slide is project title. So the title that I have kept is to reduce the defect rate. I have chosen the example of manufacturing industry to reduce the defect rate of manufacturing plant from 3% to 1%. The next slide has the project charter. The top area is project title. I will not repeat it. So let's start with the business case. So I'm assuming you all are my stakeholders to this project, and I'll try to explain the importance of this project starting with the business case. So assuming that we are part of this manufacturing company because you are the stakeholders, and I've named it as ABC Company Limited. So our company produces automobile parts for domestic and international customers. In the recent past, during the last quarter of the analysis, based on the analysis of the data, we have observed that the high rate of defect is taking place, which is leading to customer dissatisfaction. Let me change my pointer to laser. It will be visible better. High rate of defect has led to customer dissatisfaction of our company. Increase, it is also leading to the cost of operations in terms of rework, leading to low productivity, and we are losing business. In the last quarter, this figure I have taken based on assumption. So in the last quarter, we have already lost the business worth $5 billion. Let's come to the problem, or let's say opportunity statement. So during the last quarter, this is based on a basic analysis, or maybe this data can come from finance department or something like that. During the last quarter, I've mentioned the months July to September 2022. Defect rate has touched 3% as compared to 1% in quarter one. To avoid losing further business, it is essential to find a root cause so the defect rate can be reduced on priority. I haven't mentioned any causes, not neither the solution nor any cause. Now coming up to goal statement, what we are going to achieve from this project, what we are targeting by doing this project is mentioned in the goal statement. The goal of this project is to reduce the defect rate from 3%, which is the current rate of defect, to 1% by 28th February 2023. I'll explain how this date is arrived. Uh, this date, this 28th February, is arrived based on the project plan and milestones. I'll explain this when I come to this. In the scope, we'll take the entire process of production of our automobile parts, which are taking place in our own plant. So we have to take the entire supply chain, and not the supply chain, the entire production process in the scope. Anything other than the production process will be out of scope. So I've clearly mentioned this. Anything other than mentioned in the in scope is out of scope. Here I have tried to list down the phase wise the milestones that we are going to achieve if everything goes fine. So I've mentioned the phases here: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. The start date and the end date. So I prepared this project charter on around 28th or 29th September. So I've mentioned that date here. And based on the last session that I learned, that we all learned from Simar, that the define phase takes around 2 weeks. So I have uh, approximately I have taken 2 weeks for the completion of define phase. So I've mentioned 14th October here. The next day we'll start with the measure phase, 15th of October, and this will last for another 2 weeks. So this should complete on 30th of October. From 1st of November, we'll move into the analyze phase, and that will take around 4 weeks. So I've mentioned here 30th November 2022. Next, once we are through with the analyze phase, the improve phase will commence, and it is expected to start on 1st of December. I have taken into consideration around 6 weeks for the completion of improve phase. So here I've mentioned the completion date is 14th January 2023. The control phase and the last phase is it is expected to start at 15th January if we do not deviate from our milestones dates, and it is going to complete on 28th of February 2023. So this date when we are completing the control phase is the date that I have mentioned here. So here on 28th February we are going to complete this project uh, with all 5 phases. So in control phase, I have assumed 6 weeks of time span. The last portion is project team, and since now I'm assuming that you all are the stakeholders, so I propose this project to the global head. Uh, any of you can be the global head here. The champion, obviously, who is going to sponsor or some this take this project further. With the help of champion and sponsor, we'll take this project further. Mentor, VP, and AVP. Maybe I'm not correct here, so I might need some correction here. Maybe you are better experts on this. Project leader and BB, black belt. I've mentioned my own name, so I could not think of any other names. So I mentioned my own name in two roles: project leader and black belt mentor. And these team members are team member one, team member two. These may be the cross-functional team members from the different departments. So this is about the project that I am proposing based on my analysis with you guys. And what do you think of this project? Is it going to uh, give some benefit to the company?
Okay, so thank you so much, Vineet. I think that was very good presentation. You have been able to cover each and everything. But now, every project charter that we prepare or every project that we do have certain opportunities. So I would like to ask the group first and take their views, and I will also give my comments at the end. So I would like to know from the group, and let's go section by section, and we can start with the business case. So guys, this is an opportunity for you to share your feedback, and this is how we all will be able to learn. So what do you think? Is there any opportunity that you find that needs to be there in the business case? If you remember what we discussed in a last class, that what all components needs to be there in the business case. So are we good? Is there anything that we need to add in the business case? Anybody can speak.
Uh, I'm missing a couple of points from the business case, Vineet. It's
Yeah,
a it's just a feedback that we could have included those information for the better understanding for the stakeholders to take interest in your project.
yeah.
Because when we are preparing a project charter, it is our proposal to the business owners or the stakeholders to make them to convince them actually to put their investment in this project so that they can save big on money. So business charter was missing one information from my point of view. uh, Actually two consequences of not doing this project right now. If it is not done now, what the consequences business will face.
Mhm.
And second is financial justification. Financial loss is different, financial justification is different. If I'm doing a project
Mhm.
which is going to cost me 28 million and I will save 20 million out of doing that project, then that project is not useful for me as a stakeholder.
Right.
So these 2 points I think we can include in the business case.
Okay.
All right.
Good. I
What do
think
you say,
that's
Simar?
great. Yeah, I am just taking points, guys. I'll just summarize it. Let's collate all the points and then we'll conclude. So apart from what Vinod mentioned about the consequences as well as the justification, financial justification, anything else, guys, do you feel should have been included in the business case?
Hello.
Yes, Neeraj, go ahead, please.
Yeah, this is my first meeting, so just I have a couple of points which I see here. Actually, they have given that you want to reduce rejection, but actually, defect details is not given here. You want a overall defect reduction or the particular defect which is a coming contributing defect which you want to reduce only. So what the current status, some particular X defect is there. So current contribution is at 30%. You want to come to 5%. So like some brief description should be here for management justification because there will be multiple defect in the product. So what particular which particular defect you want to work on this? So it will give us some accurate we can say dimension.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
And
according to me, I think we can assume that in general, we have to reduce the defect rate. So, I think that I may be wrong. I may be wrong. So, the specific defect can come in as part of causes in the measure and analyze phase. Am I right? Or we should be specific about the type of defect at this stage only.
we are going to work on the project, so it should be some specific because it's not a generic project. Or we have to mention here you want to reduce overall rejection from this level to this particular level, and you
Yeah.
can add a COPQ. What the current is COPQ? What the current losses in terms of money? And after achieving your target, then what will be financial profit in this particular this component.
Hmm.
So we can add here.
So what Neeraj is trying to say is that we are doing a project on reducing the repair rate or defect rate. If you could just specify that this is pertaining to which particular area or which particular product, so that it is clear for the stakeholders that in a big organization which is having a loss of 5 billion, so we should be very specific about in what particular product, in what particular area, in what particular zone that we're doing this particular uh, project, right? Although it should be mentioned in the scope, but yeah, in business case also, if you could mention, it would be great.
Sure,
Okay, I
sure.
think these are really good points, and that's the reason why I am asking you to do this exercise. Good points. Anybody else? And I will then just summarize within 2 minutes. Anybody else feels that something else needs to be added in the business case?
Yeah, one more
Okay,
thing,
so
please also.
sorry,
What
Neeraj.
you can add a COPQ also. What how much money in terms of we can say defect because of defect, how much COPQ we are getting currently, and what will be benefit after, what will be reduction in COPQ after the project.
Yeah, so COPQ is cost of poor quality, I think, which is already mentioned in the last quarter. We have already lost the business worth 5 million. So that is a cost that is already incurred. Okay, so let me just summarize it. Let me summarize the business case, and that's how we all will be able to make it better. Uh, so the first part of the business case is that we need to mention the process in a very clear and concise manner. So you mentioned ABC Manufacture Limited manufacture automobile parts for domestic and international customers. You could have mentioned more scope around it, that this particular company is situated in 5 different parts of the country. They have that this is a kind of revenue that they are generating. That's how we will be able to make it more better. Second thing I talk about is that we need to link this particular problem with with the company's biggest problem. How this particular problem is linked to the company's strategic objectives. So if you could mention that it is being identified maybe from the voice of business or from the voice of customer, or maybe from some of the strategy or from the benchmarking, that uh, one of the organization priority is to reduce cost, and from there I have identified that our cost because of rework, because of high repair rate, is 5 billion. And we also need to mention the period as well. For which period you have observed that? Because when the stakeholders looks at the business case, they would like to know, is this a recent problem, is this a 1 year old problem, is this a last 6 month problem? So the period is also very very important, that since when this problem has occurred. Also, uh, I can't see the mention of uh, the CTQ. So we need, what was the CTQ? Can you go back to the first slide? Can you go back?
Yeah.
To reduce the defect rate of manufacturing plant from 3% to 1%. Did we anywhere mention that for that our defect rate has a problem? Can you go back to slide
Uh,
number 2, please? Can
yeah,
you just maximize it, please?
sure.
Full screen. Okay. So you mentioned high rate of defect has led to customer dissatisfaction, increase in rework. I think it is just, we could have mentioned when you said the last quarter. If you could just put maybe uh, July till September 22, and that's
Yeah.
how we would be able to suffice it.
All right.
Now, the impact is there, the business impact is there, that is 5 billion that we have already incurred because of that. Okay. You mentioned there is an urgent need to find the root cause and reduce the defect rate of our product so that we can solve the above mentioned problems. However, the urgency is not coming out well. apart
Okay.
from apart from this particular cost, how it is impacting my customer, how it is impacting my business, is there any
Mm-hmm.
other reason why I should do this project right now? Probably you could have mentioned due to which we have already lost, let's say, x percentage of business to the competitor. Maybe my volume has reduced, my customer base has reduced, my customer satisfaction score has reduced. So as mentioned by, I think it was Pawan, uh, that we need to mention the urgency. Okay, and
Sure.
that's how we can do it. That due to this particular problem, what is the loss that is there?
Sure.
Okay, and that's how we can make it more stronger. So always show a customer impact, a business impact, when you would be able to show it in numbers, and
Yeah.
that's how the business stakeholder would be very very interested in looking at this particular opportunity. Okay, so
Sure.
I'll just summarize, guys, and that's for everyone. Whenever we making a business case, please ensure that we always link the organization key problem with our problem, and then only the organization will be interested in doing this project with us. Second is the current problem that we are facing in terms of numbers. Since how long you've been facing this problem, for the last 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Show the urgency in terms of customer business impact, and what is the loss that we are which has already been incurred because of this particular problem, and that's how the business case would be effective.
Sure.
Okay,
Thank you.
is there any question anybody has of whatever I've summarized? Okay, let's look at the problem statement or the opportunity statement. I think during the last quarter, July to September 22, defect rate has touched 3% as compared to 1%. When you show this 1%, 1% is a target. We also need to show, maybe in the business case, that what was it earlier and what it has reached to. That's why we can show a progression, that it is a increasing trend. When it is number of defects, it is lesser the better, as you know, right? So we have to make sure that we should show that how it is being progressed over a period of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how we can specify it. And very good point mentioned by, I think, Pawan, or sorry, I forgot the name. We need to specify that for which particular area we are doing this particular project for. Okay, can we
Yeah.
go down, please? Goal. Let's look at the goal statement. To goal of the project is reduce the defect rate from 3% to 1% by 28th February. Okay. Let's look at the scope. In scope, out scope. So scope is always, when we talk about that, this particular project is limited for all the products, all the geographical areas. So we are defining the boundaries of either the products, either the uh, areas, either the locations, so that we should be very very specific about that this defect rate is only for, let's say, air conditioners.
Del-
If there's an
Delhi
electronical company,
office.
yeah, it is. So why we are defining the scope? Because we are telling the stakeholder that I am focusing on this particular problem, so that nobody can question me later that why this particular problem is not solved. For example, it's an electronical company, electrical company, and in the electronics company there are a lot of different products where we are receiving the customer complaints, right? You have analyzed that the complaints of air conditioner is very very high. So you're doing a project on reducing the effect of air conditioners. So your in scope would be air condition products for air conditioners, right?
Yeah.
And if this particular problem is only in, let's say, uh, uh, west zone or north zone, so we'll specify that. Why we are doing it? Because tomorrow if this particular problem happens in the other part, your stakeholder cannot hold you accountable. You can say, okay, I'm doing the project only for north location and for air conditioner. If the problem has occurred now, we can pick up a new project now. But if the scope is not defined, then you will be in a trouble because you have not specified. So it is very very important to define the scope, either in the boundaries. I'm doing it for XYZ location, maybe for products. Let's say if it's a customer communication complaints, then you can say all the complaint received through phone calls. So that
Okay.
maybe the complaint received from email, from chatbot are excluded from this. So that's how the scope has to be clearly defined in every project charter.
Sure.
Okay. Uh, and I think rest all are good. So guys, this is my feedback, and if you can all incorporate this in our in the exercise that I've given you, and you can share with me the updated one, and that's how we can pick it up. Guys,
Sure.
any
Thank you so
question anybody has on the entire project charter exercise?
Yes, sir. One more query. Actually, it's not a particular specific this project. Actually, here I'm seeing timeline given from 29 September to February 23. It's covering approximate 5 months. I think this timeline will create some uh, going long run. So because it's a recommended from other project leader that it should be covered within 3 months. Otherwise, it get boring. Team member will not work like so much energetic since they start in a early phase. So it should come close in a within span of 3 months. It will be better. Later, we can freeze some step-wise milestone. In 3 months, we will talk about this particular problem. In second phase, we will go for next level. So better we can just divide in some step-wise. Just we can reduce timeline.
So Neeraj, usually I think this is like a black belt project, because I can see a great impact as well in this particular project. And black belt projects generally take 4 to 5 months to get completed. If you look at the improve end date, it is 14 Jan, right? The last control phase, the 1.5 months or maybe one month 3 weeks is being for control phase. So we should be able to improve the metric by the end of 14 Jan. Okay, and that's how we will be able to uh, complete this particular project. So guys, in the goal statement, your end date shouldn't be the control phase, should always be the improve end date, because the objective is that I'm able to improve the metric. If it's repair rate, if it is cycle time, if it is productivity, if it could be anything. In control phase, I'm just sustaining that particular issue, right? So that's how we'll be able to do it. And another point that you talk about, that if the organization has an urgency to resolve it quickly, then definitely we can create a milestones. So for example, if the project you want to reduce a defect rate from 3% to 1%, so if the organization has an urgency, so from 3% to 2% maybe in December 2022, and to 1% maybe in February 23. And that's how the organization can do it also. So you can also do the project in phases as well, so that the organization can start seeing the benefit also. But usually, uh, green belt projects generally takes 3 months to get completed. When I'm saying 3 months, you are able to improve the metric at least in 3 months. It takes up to 3 months. And black belt projects takes around 4 months, because the scope is high and there is a lot of complexity in it also. So that's how you'll have to wait
One
for
small
certain time.
point I want to highlight here for Vineet, uh,
Yeah.
control and improve phase are not interdependent activities. It's not always important that you complete the improve phase first, then only you start the control phase. Control phase can start on the initial steps you have taken while you started improve phase. Suppose that you improved for 2 months or maybe 2 weeks. So
Mhm.
your improve phase will continue for next 1 month also, but you can start your control phase in the middle of the improve phase, so that you can see the impact of the improvement of first 2 weeks in the third week itself. So
Okay.
these two activities are not always the uh, interdependent activities. These are independent activities. However,
All
improve
right.
phase should come always first, which is correct. So to start the control phase, it's not always compulsory that you complete the improve phase first. It can
So
start
there
in the
can
middle
be an
also.
overlap on these dates.
Yeah, it can be overlapping. Simar, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, I have a different opinion here. Uh, yeah, I have a different opinion here. Since all these
Yeah.
phases have some kind of an overlap, you can because that's why there are certain toll gates for each and every phase. Once the defined phase toll gate is completed, you start with the measure phase, and then the measure phase toll gate is completed, and so on and so forth. So for measure and analyze, yes, I agree. There could be an overlap. From analyze to improve, you can start with certain activities. Once you find the root cause, you can give it to, let's say, one of the teams to start implementing it. However, improve and control should never have any kind of an overlap, because if you look from a conceptual standpoint, improve means
Mhm.
you have improved something completely. And when I'm saying improving something, once you have reached to that stage which you were supposed to. For example, you want to reduce the cycle time of the delivery guys from 5 days to 2 days. Sorry, from 30 minutes to 10 minutes, right? Until and unless you don't reach the target state, you cannot start with the sustain. You can't use the control phase. So the control phase will always be initiated once we have improved the current state. You may have implemented certain solutions in it, but you can't start with the control phase. So once we maybe in the next workshop, when we talk about the control charts or maybe the control phase awareness, then I will talk about that how do we focus on the control charts and how we look at the control limits to find out if there's any special causes or not, right? So just to recap, there could be an overlap between the analyze and improve, but there would never be any overlap between improve and control. It has to be initiated once the improve phase is over. Okay, so we need one small observation. If you are a
Yeah.
project leader, let's say you're doing a project, if you are a project leader, then there would somebody from the process excellence team or the quality team or whatever team they call it as business excellence has to be the mentor. So
Okay.
anybody can be the mentor. So leader, there should always be a mentor. For example, you're already part of the business excellence team and you are doing a project, so your master black belt, so if it's a so you are a black belt, your master black belt would be your mentor. Okay, if you're
Okay.
doing a green belt project, then you will be a project leader and black belt will be your mentor. So
Mentor. Right.
MBB or BB, either one of them would be there. This project charter is basically combined for
Okay.
both black belt and green belt project. So if you are leading this particular project, there should be somebody who can guide you, coach you, assess you, and validate all the analysis and everything that you have done. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
So guys, I would request that each one of you, each one of you to start incorporating the changes that I have talked about. Okay. Please send me the project charter so that unless and until you will not make one, you will not be able to improvise it. And trust me guys, this is the most important part of any project charter. A lot of business project, lot of project fails because the charter is not defined in that way. And I see a lot of people uh, are green belt certified or maybe black belt certified, but still face a lot of challenges in making an effective project charter, right? So, and that's how we should always make sure that the project charter is very effective in nature. I'm getting few questions on the chat. How measure and analyze can overlap? Any example? Okay, so measure. Uh, so in the measure phase, we basically start doing some of the uh, we start getting some of the quick wins, wherein we start implementing certain things which are easy to implement. For that, the analysis is not required. Okay, so you can start implementing it, and if you get certain data, you can analyze it as well. So you can start analyzing some stuff within the measure phase, so that both the phase can start happening together. Okay, so yeah, Neeraj is right. It's a parallel work on both the phases. So when you're implementing some quick wins, you can start looking at the data analysis. So you don't have to complete the measure phase and then start with the analyze phase, you can start doing it simultaneously. But yes, majority of the measure phase has to be completed, and then only you can start with the analyze phase. So guys, one very important thing in the define phase is defining, selecting the team. Okay, if the team is not selected properly, you will not get results. So let me ask you a question, and I believe most of you have good understanding about the Six Sigma concepts already, and that's why you are part of this training. How do you define the team? Let's say if you want to do this particular project, how as a black belt or how as a green belt you will decide that who all needs to be part of your team? What is the criteria? Is it your champion tells you, your sponsor tells you that you should include this all in your team, or you should also use some scientific way to finalize or validate whether the team members which are being assigned to me are good to go? Will you do any kind of due diligence to finalize that? What do
Hello.
you think?
Yes, sir. Here is my some opinion in this. Actually, I'm green belt certified, and just right now I started a black belt certification. So during green belt project, during team selection, I find some observation that actually for data collection we need some team member should be pursuing a yellow belt so that they can collect data and they can just present it in a proper manner. So it will support us. Second, we need some cross-functional team, which the core person actually suppose that we are going to work on a welding process in the manufacturing industry. So we need a person who are directly working on that process. So that person should come in our team so that we can technically discuss with them. So what's their opinion or what will be difficulty after taking actions. So from my side, this is a view for team selection. And sir, here one more: how many team member should we include? Because increasing in numbers of our team member, it's a create conflict between them. So
Okay.
what will be ideal?
Is there any tool that we are aware of which would help us to finalize the team? How do you
Uh, we can
finalize the team?
use we can use Army or RESIC.
Army and Rasi you will use when you know who your team members are, and then you will make them responsible, accountable for some of the tasks that you have in hand. But before even, how do you finalize it? How do you finalize whether Vineet should be part of my team, whether Neeraj, Pawan, Abhishek, Gaurav, Rohit, who should I include for this particular project? How should I decide? Okay,
So
Vineet,
based
thank you
on
so much.
their
Yeah,
so
thank you
based
so
on
much.
Vineet,
their
if you could stop sharing as
expertise.
well, then we can probably, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah,
Sure.
go ahead, Neeraj.
Okay, so based on their person expertise, which area we are going to work. So expert person should be there from relevant process, and we can
Expert
if
person,
yes
expert person,
from
SME, quality expert, management team members. Okay, all right. Guys, let me ask you a question. All of us are working professionals here, and on end of every month we get our salary, right? Even end of the month or first week of the month, we get our salary. Do you know how many departments or functions are involved when the salary is being credited? How many people are involved, or how many teams are involved? Very simple
There are
question. How many teams are involved when we get our salary?
there
Who
is
all are
HR team.
responsible to ensure that you get your salary on time?
I
Yeah,
think, sir,
this is what
HR,
Vineet has written.
HR,
then
finance, and
finance
bank.
team,
HR team,
finance, IT. These are
finance
the
team, IT team, yeah,
himself as well, no?
Sorry.
Outs
Himself as well, no? Because if we are not present in the office, then how should we get salary?
No, he should be responsible to work for that for sure. But who all are helping? The salary should be processed. So HR is there, finance team is there, IT team is there, your respective
uh,
department. Because if they don't process it properly, if they want to stop, they can also stop, right? So there are basically 3 to 4 departments for a very simple process that salary should be credited to a person's account, right? So if you notice, what I'm trying to tell you is that for every process, you look at any process around you, any process that you look at, always have a cross functional impact. It is not that only that particular function is doing, he is doing it with the help of other departments. It is the responsibility, it is the accountability of the HR team that you get your salary on time, but it is the responsibility of finance team, IT team, and your department as well, right? So it is the HR team who's leading the effort and making sure that you get your salary on time. For such a simple process, there are 4 teams involved or 3 teams involved. So for every process that we look at, there is always a cross-functional impact. One who's delivering it and another he's getting delivered from, right? So coming back to the same question, and this is what I'm telling you so that you understand the concept, because this is one of the major issue when people face when defining a well-defined team. Guys, have you all heard of a tool called SIPOC? Have you
yeah,
all
Yes.
heard of a tool called SIPOC?
yeah,
If you could
Yes.
see my guys, I hope you can see my screen, right? My screen is visible.
yeah, we can
Excel
see
sheet.
it.
Wonderful. So what is SIPOC?
As
Supplier,
supplier,
input, process,
output, and customer.
output, and customer.
Okay, so that is the full form of SIPOC. But what is SIPOC? What does SIPOC help us to do?
SIPOC is a broader view of a process flow, right from the startup till the end product is delivered.
Okay, so it is the
It's a
high
broader view.
level
It's not very
flow.
minute, which is a very high level view.
It's a high level view of the process, right? So that is
Yeah.
something which I'm able to get from process. What about SIONC? Why I'm using it? If I want to make a very high level process flow, I can make it. Why SIONC are there?
No,
Why is it helping?
processes cannot be made in air, Simarpreet. The process for preparing any process or for doing any process, you need an input, and for getting any input, you need a supplier of that input or that
Okay, very
information.
good. Very good. So, guys, let's do a very small exercise. You all have to help me in completing that exercise, which will take 10 minutes. And with the help of this exercise, you will get a lot of insights. If I tell you by the end of this exercise, you will be crystal clear that who all should be part of your team. How would you feel? By just thinking that I'll get an SME, I'll get an expert, I'll get the best performer, how it will help. But if I get a very scientific formula that any time from now onwards, anytime if I do a project, I would get a very scientific way on who should be included in my team. Let's see how we can do it quickly. So, guys, let's take a very small example. Let's take a very small example. I'm sure everybody out here has booked tickets online. Have you ever booked ticket online using
Yeah,
IRCTC train tickets?
yeah.
So I'll take that example, a very simple process. So let's say there is a problem that, let's say you're doing a project. The problem statement is average time taken to book ticket online is 20 minutes. And due to that, the impact is a lot of people are moving to different aggregators like Make My Trip, Go Ibibo, etc., etc. And that's why the penetration of The IRCTC is very less. They are getting less advertisement. They are generating less revenue, etc., etc. So that's the major problem that they have. Now you have already prepared a project charter. You have defined the problem, but you have stuck. You're not sure who all should be part of my team. I want to solve this particular problem because this requires a lot of efforts, right? So, guys, if I want to summarize this particular process, right from login to the website till the tickets booking in 5 simple steps, because all of you said SIPOC is a very high level process flow. And when I say very high level, you should not be including more than 5 steps. So can someone tell me what is the first step? I want to write in P. What is the first step?
Open the browser.
Okay, so probably you uh, log in to the portal.
Yeah, log into
Okay,
the portal.
what else? What is the second step?
Select the dates of journey.
Okay, select the date, destination. What should be the third step?
We are going too minute in the process. If yes, then we should select the coach and berth as well. If we are selecting that,
Yeah, so we have selected the date, destination, coach.
yeah,
Your detail.
Okay, so passenger details.
then
Very
fill
good.
passenger details,
Passenger details
make the
to
payments,
be filled. What else? What's the fourth step?
make the payments,
Okay, make the payment and confirmation,
yeah,
ticket confirmation.
confirmation email or ticket confirmation
Ticket confirmation through SMS, WhatsApp, email. So this
email.
is a very simple process, right, for booking any tickets online. Yeah. Now for each and every process step, we need to map the input and the output. So guys, in order for you to log in to the portal, what is the input that you need to do?
Website address very firstly,
So you need to mention your
the website.
login credentials. Okay. What is the output to this step? You are logged in
You
to the
you are
portal.
logged in and you get your dashboard.
Okay. And see the dashboard. Very good. Select the dates destination coach. If you want to select the date destination coach, what input you need to give?
Mm, travel dates. I should know my travel dates.
Okay. So you should know. So what you need to enter? Okay. So you need to have the travel dates, uh, class, etc. Okay. Once you select the date, destination, and coach, what is the output?
You get
The
the
list of
status of the seats, available seats.
So you get the availability status of seats, whether it is RSC, whether it's available, whether it's waiting. Good. In order to enter the passenger details, what is the input you need to have?
Sorry, someone else. Only I am speaking. Please.
Passenger details.
Number of
Okay.
passengers.
Passenger details. There, it could be their name, age, vegetarian, non-vegetarian, whatever they want to have within train. If it's right? Okay, so passenger details. And what is the output? Once the passenger details are entered, what would you see? What is the output for this particular step?
Confirmation page before we submit for the
Availability,
ticket.
like availability of seat, basically. That is the
Availability of, that is you already seen at the top, availability of seats. Here you will, sorry, I think you're right. Here you will get the availability of seats, and at the top it's availability of train, different trains. Okay. In order to make the payment, what is all that you need to have?
card detail, card number.
You need to have payment modes like credit
Payment
card.
mode, credentials. Okay. Once you
Yeah.
make the payment, what is the output at this particular step?
Payment confirmation.
Very good. Payment,
Seat confirmation.
payment confirmation, seat confirmation. Okay. In order to get the ticket confirmation on a soft copy or a hard copy, what is the input you need to have?
Receive confirmation through SMS.
Email address.
Uh, you need to have, you need to have uh, confirmation. Sorry, at this particular step, the ticket confirmation through SMS, WhatsApp, email. You need to have an active connection, and then only you would be able to have active mobile or internet connection. And what is the output here? Ticket booked, right? Guys, now let's look at SNC. So guys, for this particular process, entire process, the process that I've just shared, who all do you think would be the suppliers?
Traveler or client.
Who all could be the suppliers? The supplier are the one who are providing the services, like your Airtel, your Vodafone, and customers are the one who are getting the benefit. It could be internal or external both. So who all could be the suppliers, guys, in this particular process? Who all are the service providers?
First, internet provider, basically.
Okay, very good. Internet provider, your internet provider. Who all are there? What else?
No, I differ here. For your login credentials, the respective website will be the provider, not the
No,
internet
I'm not.
provider.
I'm not mapping it with it. I'm just asking generically. Yeah, but you're right.
Okay,
So
I was thinking
yeah,
for each process there is one input, and for that particular input there has to be one supplier.
that you can
So
also do, but that would be a very lengthy exercise because we don't have to map it. The only mapping we have to do is the input and the output, which we have done it successfully. Right now, what
okay,
I'm asking is that who all are these? Who all can be the supplier for this entire process? Who all are the service providers? Internet providers are there. What else?
travelers, because they can only supply you the dates of travel, their desired
Uh,
each.
Suppliers are the ones who are making sure that how this process effective. Look at this example: salary credited, HR, finance, IT, your department. Similarly, in this particular process, who all are making sure that you're able to book your tickets frictionless?
Okay, travel agency.
Okay, travel agents. What else?
Banking,
Your
whoever has
bank.
supplied you the credit cards or internet banking, whoever is providing you the financial support.
Okay, banking, because they are the payment gateways.
Yeah, payment gateways.
Okay, payment gateways. What else?
Your mobile network provider.
Very good. Mobile network providers.
That already covered, na, upper.
Internet providers and bank
Internet
mobile network
providers are
providers are
separate
different.
and mobile network providers are separate.
Correct. What else? Anything, any other supplier which we are missing? Okay, let's look at the customer. Who all could be the
Uh,
customer here?
Here is supplier also the IRCTC confirmation agency, na, agent that will confirm that ticket.
So one important thing which we could not think of is IRCTC backend team, IRCTC IT team. We're talking about our internet. We are not talking about IRCTC as well, because they are the
But
ones. There is a server
I,
there
I,
due
I
to which.
tried to cover that in travel agencies
So
because whichever
travel,
travel agency like IRCTC or Red Bus, whatever we are, wherever we are booking in, they
yeah,
that entire agency along with their IT and support team will be our supplier.
yeah. So this would cover. So yeah, we'll have to specify it. We'll have to separate it out. So travel agency could be Redbus. Okay, other providers who are supporting them. Okay, maybe it has Make My Trip tie up as well, or maybe some individual travel agents. Okay, let's look at the customer. Who all are the ones who are getting the benefit of this particular process? And just to give you a hint, some of your supplier can be your customer also.
Yeah,
Yeah, can you name few? Can you name few customers? Guys, can you name few customers who are getting the
first
benefit?
of all,
One is the,
all first three suppliers can be the customers as well.
can you specify how? How
Internet service
internet provider
providers,
can be the customer?
they are mm, internet service provider can be the customer. It will be too deep if we say that they are going to store our information for our next transactions, but that's not internet service provider. That's a travel agency, IRCTC.
Okay, so the first customer would always be the passenger because he's getting the benefit, he's the end customer.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Second could be the IRCTC finance team because they are the ones who are generating all the revenues. When you're making the payment, they are the ones who are making the transactions. So they are the customers. IRCTC backend team because they are doing a lot of follow-ups from each of the teams. IRCTC IT
Mhm.
team because these are the internal customers. Okay, but be limited to this only. So guys, we have completed the SIPOC. It took us 10 to 15 minutes to complete it, and that's the exact time that it takes if you take it any of the process. It should not take more than 5 steps. So guys, let's look at what are the extracts that we have got from SIPOC here. Okay, let me just make it a little bit presentable so that we are able to see it clearly. Okay. So guys, your supplier and your customer are one category. Your process is the second category, and your input and output is the third category. So from your process, which is P, and which we already talked about, P specifies the process, talks about the high level process flow, so that each and every stakeholder is aware of the entire process, because everybody was aware of their each. But when we prepare SIPOC, now everybody is aware of everybody's. Similarly, when we take the small example of salary credited, HR was aware of his process, finance was aware of their process, IT was there of process. But when we make a SIPOC of this, we will be able, everybody should be on the same page. So process is done, which is P. Your SIPOC, your supplier and your customer. If you look around, these would be your potential team members. Let me tell you how. When we are taking a lot of time to book the ticket, the, the problem could be at the service provider. It could be an internet provider. Because of internet provider, it is taking too much time. It could be because of the bank. The bank is taking time to process a payment. It could be because of the payment gateways, Paytm, PhonePe, etc. It could be because your mobile phone network has a problem. It could be because the IRCTC backend team is not able to process it on time. It could be the IRCTC server IT team who's taking a lot of issue, right? It could be because the IRCTC finance team is not able to update it on their system, and that's the reason why there is a delay in getting the confirmation. So if you notice, these would be your potential team members, because you don't know due to whom it is taking too much time. And this is the only scientific way, guys, through SIPOC, you can define who all should be your potential team members. We should never ever trust the sponsor or the champion if they say, okay, take few people from this team, take few people from this team. You should know end to end. Now everything is in front of you. You know the customer, you know the supplier, so you know the end to end, right? And that's how you'll be able to decide who all should be part of your team members. So supplier and your customer help you to finalize the team members for any impacted project or opportunity. Until and unless the SIPOC is not there, you should not make to a conclusion that who all should I be including in my team, because I don't know the delay is because of whom. So I have to onboard everyone. I have to make them aware of the entire process. I have to make them aware of what are the input and the output. Okay. So guys, process I talked about, supplier and customer I talked about. Can someone tell me what is the benefit of input and output? What is input and output telling me in SIPOC? Anyone? If you just make a random guess.
Output will be the outcome of the specific step in the process.
Yeah, but how it is going to help me in the project? Your output and your input can be your potential causes or factors. Though it's a defined phase, we are not supposed to reveal what could be the input, what could be the causes. But yes, it is giving you an opportunity. If you look at around it, mention your login credentials. It could be a possibility that due to customer not mention entering the login credentials, that's why it's delay in time. It could be at a passenger details stage, it is taking too much time. It could be at a payment mode and credentials, right? It could be at a seats confirmation time. So your input and output could be your potential areas where the problem is lying, right? So that's why SIPOC is a very, very powerful tool, guys, which we always think that it is only a tool to help me understand the high level process map. No, that's not the only thing. We underestimate other things which are part of SIPOC. The very important thing which I talked about is finalizing the team, which is supplier and customer. Output input helps you to identify the potential opportunities which you will be validating it in the analyze phase. But yes, but you have certain information which you have already received. For that, you can do deep dive later. Guys, any question anybody has on SIPOC?
Simar,
Yeah.
regarding type of preparation, because this is a general example, so we understand. But from the manufacturing process point of view, there are lots of inputs. So how we have to identify, like, it means a priority point of view, what we have to consider. Is there any other example also so that we can understand more precisely?
So Sandeep, you look at any process. You look at any process, whether it's a manufacturing process, whether it's a service process, whether it's a research process. The first thing you will do is prepare a process, a very high level process step. In SIPOC, you will prepare first P, right? P should not be more than 5 to 6 steps. Against each P, against each process, you will see what could be the input and the output, how that particular step is being incurred. You will just write down, you just map each and every input and output against the process that we talked about, the way I explained. So it doesn't
For
depend
every,
whether you are in manufacturing or in telecom or in service. You just have to map it. You just have to name it.
for
And
every
that's
step
how.
also, yes, 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 please.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead.
Yes, for every step also there will be a two to three inputs also, no? So
Yeah,
like
that's okay.
uh,
Should not be
level
a
we have to.
problem. You mention all. Why are you hiding anything? You don't have to hide any information. The more input and output that you have, it is better for you, because these could be the potential opportunities due to which there is a problem. Because if you look at the process, how a process fails, Sandeep, either the
Yes.
problem is in the input. If you put a wrong input, you will definitely get a wrong output. You take an example of manufacturing. If you are in a glass manufacturing organization, if you are entering a wrong raw material or incorrect raw material, or without proper testing the raw material, will you get an output? So don't worry about how many inputs you are getting. Your input and output are basically your potential opportunity, because that is why how it is making a process stronger, a process effective. So process has to be there, and it doesn't matter how many input and output are there. If you can categorize it, then it would be great. It should be something which you would be able to make other people understand. It should be meaningful, and that's how you'll be able to map it, the input and the output.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do not forget to do this exercise along with the team, guys. This is another exercise which has to be done with the entire team. So don't start doing this activity on your own. You will never get good inputs. So likewise, if I would have tried, I could have done this on my own. This was a very generic example. Everybody's aware of ICTC process, but just imagine, in a big organization, there is a manufacturing process, there is a service process, and every process has 5 or 6 certain departments. You don't know input and output on each and every one. You have to be with them. So the cyber activity has to be done with the team. It is not a silo activity. Okay, so that's the last step of the define phase, that you need to do a SIPOC so that you know whom should be onboarded or whom should not be onboarded on the process.
Simerson, who will decide, like for SIPEC preparation, what type of members basically will be involved in that? Who will decide? Like
Okay,
process owner will decide, or like, because for
so
preparation of the team we will get the input from the SIPOC, but for SIPOC
correct.
preparation who will decide which member will be involved?
Okay, very good question. So SIPOC preparation has to be done along with the process owner and the relevant decision maker of the cross functional teams that we have, right? So the example that I gave, the HR, you can have somebody from HR, a decision maker who knows the process in and out. Okay, there you can bring in the SMEs also, but in that particular process there could be some sub processes also which everybody might not be aware. So the answer to your question is, in order to do the SIPOC activity, I need to bring in all the cross functional SMEs or the decision makers so that they can help us in defining the SIPOC. But that's a very good question. Any other question anybody has, guys?
What is SME?
Subject matter expert,
Okay, okay. Thank you.
process expert.
Okay.
Okay, so guys, this is what I wanted to cover on the SIPOC part, and now I will talk about some of the concepts from our last class wherein we discussed about define. So define is completed. In terms of awareness, we have completed all the tools which are supposed to be done, and I would request you to make changes in your project charter and share it with me. In the last class, guys, we have done a kind of a brainstorming session wherein we identified certain potential causes. So I'm just sharing my screen so that you all can see. Guys, if you can see my screen, uh, when we were talking about the DMAC journey, we have done a small brainstorming session. The problem statement was Swiggy is taking every 30 minutes to complete the order and we want to make it to 20 minutes. And for that, we have done the brainstorming to identify the potential causes due to which there is a delay, right? And we listed down 10 of the potential causes. Last time when we did this exercise, a lot of people were saying that how should we work on these? What is the proper way of the prioritization matrix that we have? Most of you are already green belt certified or green belt trained or may have some knowledge. So you might be aware of a lot of prioritization matrix. So I will talk about certain prioritization matrix here. So guys, one of the most important matrix for prioritization is control impact matrix. So you need to put all the causes which you've identified from brainstorming into high, medium, and low. Okay, you have to do this exercise along with the group, and basis the consensus of entire team, you will put that into high, medium, and low impact of this particular cause onto the problem statement, and then you will also kind of categorize whether it is in control or whether it is out of control, and that's how you'll be able to focus on those issues which is high impact and in control. So this could be your priority area. So this is a template you can use. You can just put down the in control and high impact causes here, and that's how you'll be able to prioritize it. So if we do this exercise, guys, and if we can do this impact and controllable, controllable, uncontrollable, So guys, if we do this exercise now, we can also do it in a couple of minutes. So guys, navigation issue, do you think it's high, medium, or low? Due to navigation issue, it is taking 30 minutes to complete the order, and I want to reduce it to 20 minutes. It's a high impact, medium impact, or low impact. If I focus on the navigation issue, guys. So guys, this is an interactive session. I want you to participate.
I
Navigation
think
is
it
a high
should be
impact
medium.
issue.
Okay, it's a medium. Or is it controllable, uncontrollable? I think it's controllable because we don't need help of an external team or somebody else. Vehicle breakdown.
This
Guys,
should be
if you're
high.
putting something in chat, sorry, I can't see it because I'm sharing my screen and I can't see the inputs here. Sorry, if you can speak it up, it would be great. If you're putting it on chat, I can't see it.
It should
Should
be
be
high.
High and
high.
it's
It should
uncontrollable.
be high because that's the reason that there could be delay. Traffic, rain, climate, festive seasons due to high demand.
High,
This is also high. Restaurants not able to prioritize between takeaways and dining.
high,
Okay, what about others, guys? So, guys, when you do this exercise, okay, the intent of doing this training is to make you aware of how to do a real-time projects as well. Okay, these brainstorming needs to be done by the project leaders, and you have to be very, very interactive with the team, and that's how you'll be able to do it. So, guys, in this way, you don't have to rely on one particular person. You have to take the consensus of the entire team. If the team is not participating, you have to make them interact, because even if only 1 or 2% participating, you will not get the desired results. And that's why team plays a very, very important role, because this project is impacting everyone, and that's why people are in the room. So, guys, I need more votes, more inputs from others. Do you all agree that this should be high or this should be medium? I need it in I need multiple inputs. Is it high or medium?
high.
Navigation, I think high.
It is a highly impacting factor.
Yeah, it's a high impacting factor. Issues in the app, that is order placed by customer to order received by hotel. So the app has some issues. For example, I am
This should
high
placing an
again,
order. Okay, it's high again. Delivery guy is getting multiple orders. I think this is also high.
high,
Delivery guy has some other priorities, which means there is some kind of a will issue.
That's a medium,
Low
medium
maybe.
impacting.
medium,
I think
I
this is
think.
this doesn't
Medium,
happen
yeah.
too many times, but yeah, I'll see it's a medium one. Limited chefs available in the hotel.
This is a high impacting factor.
High,
This is a high impact because they are the one who's the contributing factor. Limited delivery guys available. Why it is mentioned multiple times?
high,
Limited. Okay, that was limited chef. Limited delivery guys. High. Lack of governance from packing to the handover to delivery guy.
high,
It
Okay,
could be
so we have,
medium.
yeah. So it is. I would say it's a medium because that if you have more delivery guys, if you have enough chefs, this should not be a big problem. Okay, and I consider all of them as kind of controllable for the time being, since we have limited time. So, guys, this is a very simple exercise that I have done. So, brainstorming has helped me to kind of identify the potential causes. Control and impact matrix has helped me to prioritize the causes. So, out of the 10 causes, if I want to prioritize, I can just put a filter here and select the high ones. So I'll just focus on these 7 ones, and then I'll be able to improve the current state. The remaining three I will kind of ignore, right? So that's the second stage. Now, guys, in the analyze phase, there is one very important tool which is called fishbone, which is basically also called as cause and effect diagram. Can someone tell me what is the meaning of cause and effect diagram if you have already heard of it or if you have already used it? Have you ever heard of fishbone analysis? People who are not Greenbelt trained or certified in this room?
So this diagram will help us to depict the relationship between the causes and effects. The effect is the problem that we are trying to solve with the help of this project, and the causes will be depicted in 6 parts of the diagram.
So basically, if I have 7 or 8 causes that I've identified, or maybe have I have got it, how the fishbone is helping me to go to the next level?
Basically, Fishbone will guide you on which factor basically these point will cover, like man, machine, metal method. In which category basically you have to take action.
Absolutely. So this exercise, fishbone, if I just so since this is an awareness session and I should be at least talking about it, so that we all are on the same page and there is no confusion to everyone because we are doing a refresher. So guys, cause and so there are multiple names to it. We call it as an Ishikawa diagram because that was the name of the gentleman who started with this tool. Fishbone because of the shape of this particular tool, and the cause and effect diagram because there is a relationship between cause and effect diagram. So one tool, 3 names, it's a pictorial representation of the causes that we have. So we are just categorizing the causes into different areas. It could be a cause because of manpower issue, it could be because of machinery, mother nature, measurement, method, material. So basically as a standard it focuses on the 6 M's. Okay, so whatever causes that you identified from the brainstorming, you need to categorize under different headers. Okay, it is not necessarily that you will get all 6 M's. It could be that these causes could be categorized maybe into 3 or 4 causes, and it is not necessarily that you have to use all these. You can use your own categorization also. Could be this cause could be because of people issue, process, technology, IT, customer, etc. Okay, and that's how we will be able to do it. So let's do that as well so that we know the practical side of it as well. So I'm doing the categorization also. So guys, quickly, I need support from all of you, and that's how we'll be able to do it. Navigation issue, which header it should come under? People, process, technology, system, mother nature, manpower, what is it? Where should it fall under?
Technology.
Okay, so it's technology. I will put it as tech. Vehicle breakdown, people issue,
Machine,
process issue, IT issue, system issue, what is it all about?
System.
Again, it's system
ve-
because uh, it is
vehicle
not a
breakdown
elect
basically category of machine basically.
yeah, system, machine, whatever category you want to call it as. Restaurant is not able to prioritize. Sorry, I think I missed the traffic.
Traffic. Yeah.
I think navigation, tech, vehicle system. Yeah, the traffic. I think this would come under mother nature
Mother Nature.
because this is kind of uncontrollable. Environmental factor. Restaurant is not able to prioritize between takeaways and dining. That's a
Process.
process or
Process.
method kind of method gap. Good. Sorry. Yeah. Issues in the app. This is again tech.
Technology.
Delivery guy is getting multiple orders.
Process.
Method
Process.
issue.
It is process. Okay. It cannot be people because it is not in his hand. This delivery guy has some other priorities. This will be a people issue.
Yep.
People or man. Okay. Limited chefs available in the hotel. This is again a process. Limited delivery guys available. Again a process. Lack of governance is also a process. So you will prepare a fishbone accordingly and put it under that. But can someone tell me why have we done the categorization? How it will help me to move to the next step? Is it just a formality that I'm doing a fishbone exercise, or what does it help me to do? What should be the takeaway of this exercise?
It may help us in the measure phase in data collection plan.
Mm, why do I need to collect the data?
Mm. Based on the categories that we have identified, uh, the cause. Uh, uh,
It
we
is
will be collecting the data to justify the to to know the impact of each and every cause that we have identified here.
I,
Impact, I've already categorized it as high, medium, and low, controllable,
it would
non-controllable.
I think assist the teams in kind of categorizing what are the potential causes of my problems or issues, um, maybe in an orderly way, and then further identifying the root cause.
Uh,
So,
from my idea, basically, it is for to confirm the direction of analysis. Once we are going for the like process, so we have to seek for the it means analyze the data for the process at a one go. Like first the direction like process, then the direction for the mother nature, then the direction for the technology, like something like that. At a one go, one area we have to cover to keep the less time also for the analysis.
Basically, it's like where most of my causes are, like, because as you can see, like from that Excel, I can see like most of these are like falling under process. So that's where my concentration is, or the defect kind of a thing lies under, where I need to concentrate more.
is it is it basis the number of things that we should always focus on? That if I have more process related issues, so I'll prioritize in process, or is it the impact also that I need to place?
The impact also, yes, you're right.
So, guys, the
The
most
impact, if it is a
important
cross-functional impact, then it has to be addressed very firstly.
yes.
the most important the most important benefit of this exercise is it is helping us to decide who should be the accountable person who will be helping me in this particular area. For example, what you want to do is all the tech related categorization needs to be taken help of the IT team. Okay, all the system and machine related we need to take help of a, let's say, uh, repair team or system team. All the process related things you will have to park it with the process head or with the ops head, and the main mesh and the people related issues you need to deal with people or with their supervisors. So guys, the purpose of doing fishbone exercise for you to identify that whom should I need to reach out. You should make a plan that we have identified, we have done the brainstorming, we have identified the causes, we have prioritized it, and we have categorized it. Now I need your help. So you will park it with the IT team. Can you solve yourself? No. You need help of different cross-functional teams to solve this particular issue. Okay. So if I summarize, guys, brainstorming helps me to, pardon my spelling, helps me to identify the potential causes, control and impact matrix helps me to prioritize the causes, and fishbone helps me to categorize it. So these three are very different things, guys. The output of brainstorming is the control and impact matrix, and then we do a fishbone. You can do fishbone after brainstorming also, that should not be a problem. But we need to know what is the purpose of each and everything. Is that clear to all of you?
Yeah.
Yes, makes sense. Yep.
All right, so guys, this is what I wanted to cover today in our second awareness session. We will talk about the other tools within analyze phase, like Pareto chart, scatter plot, histogram, control charts, and other stuff as well. So the next uh, session would be on the practical side as well, wherein we will talk about the other tools as well. But in case if anybody has any question of whatever we have covered, so we have covered the SIPOC, we have covered the fishbone control impact matrix, and we have taken the one practical demonstration of the project charters. Anybody has any question? Any question
Nothing.
anybody
No,
has, guys?
no, for today's
Okay.
session, it was pretty much clear. Yeah.
All right, so guys, I'll upload the recording of this session on YouTube. You can go to the YouTube link, the channel that I have, and you will be able to get the recording from there. You can refer it. Guys, I need the project charters from your side. Until and unless I don't see the project charters, I will not be confident whether the training that I've conducted is effective or not, because that's how I'll be able to gauge the effectiveness of the training. We have done it today as well. So you may refer this training recording once again, and that's how you'll be able to make the project charters. So the next session, I'll share the timings, the part 3 of this session, and uh, that's how we can collect and meet next time also. Okay, so I will share
Simar,
the, yes, Sandeep.
yes. Maybe request for today and the last session material to share with us.
Yeah, it's a very simple material. I can share. That's not a problem. I'll do it.
Uh, Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys. Thank you for your time, and we'll connect shortly.
Thanks,
Thank
Simar.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
again,
you.
Mohammed.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.